A Massachusetts State Police sergeant accused of throwing a woman to the ground and pepper spraying her during a Springfield traffic stop will not face criminal charges, at least for now. Welcome to Western Mass News at 10 on Fox 6. I'm Susan Goodman. A judge dismissed the case today, but the ruling wasn't about whether the officer's use of force was justified. The judge says the charges were improperly filed. Joining us live in studio to explain more is Western Mass News' Reagan Logri. Reagan.
Yeah, that's right, Susan. The official who approved them never reviewed a key piece of evidence. We've been following this case since January. Now a judge has dismissed the criminal case against Massachusetts State Police Sergeant Joel Daoust. Daoust was charged with assault and battery after a January 3rd traffic stop on East Columbus Avenue in Springfield. Investigators say the encounter escalated in less than 2 minutes, with Daoust using an armbar technique before pepper spraying the driver. Daoust initially reported he believed he saw drug paraphernalia in the woman's purse. His report was later corrected, acknowledging the item was actually makeup. Court documents say the woman was taken to the ground and pepper sprayed while crying and asking, "Why are you doing this?" But Friday's ruling wasn't about whether Daoust's use of force was justified. Instead, the judge found the criminal complaint was improperly issued because the clerk magistrate who authorized the charges relied on a written summary of the incident without ever watching the body camera video. The judge dismissed the case without prejudice, meaning prosecutors can refile the charges after following the proper legal process. Although the criminal charges have been dismissed for now, Sergeant Daoust remains suspended without pay. His Massachusetts police certification also remains suspended by the Post Commission, meaning he is still not permitted to serve as a law enforcement officer in the state. Reporting live in studio, Reagan Logri, Western Mass News.